The year is rapidly approaching. And one of the things I love doing during this time of year is reflecting on the past year. What went well? What can I learn from it? What do I want to get done in the few days remaining in the end of the year? And then also, what would I like to achieve next year? And so today's video is really special because for the first time ever, I held a live event. There were 60 of us there, and we went through this exercise together. And it took us about an hour to do this, but you'll be able to do that the same exercise in about 8 to 10 minutes. So let's jump in and I'll walk you through the same process we did earlier. So the first one, I asked people where they're from. You can see where this group of 60 people were from. We were mostly from the United States. There were a couple people that joined us from Europe. And the next question was, how old are you? And you can see the largest group was the 61 to 65, then 56 to 60. And there were some people that joined us under 50, and one of the larger groups was over 65. The next question was how many years until you hope to retire? And you can see here about a third of the group was already retired, but there was 7% had more than 5 years, and then another 28% was 1 to 3, and almost a fourth of the people were hoping to retire in the next year. Okay, the next question was the first prompt that we went through. We took 3 minutes to answer this, but you can just pause the video to do it on your own. So the first prompt was thinking about our current, who we are currently, our what I call our current you. So think about a morning you were super excited and happy to wake up recently. What was it about that day that made you feel special? What was it that made you feel excited for the day? Next question is, what did you do just for fun over the past 9 months? And the last question was, how do you feel about your relationships? Are there any that you want to rekindle, nurture, or prune? So you can just pause the video here. But the nice thing is we can see the results here. And so these are some of the results here. You know, somebody went fishing. They like to hike and travel. They went for a swim almost every day. They hiked with the dog every day. That was probably my wife. My wife joined us on this. They went to the stadium tour out west. Uh, Started to coach at their college. That's really cool. Okay. The next question about relationships. Almost a fourth of us wanted to rekindle um, new relationships. A third of us wanted to make more friends, make new friends. A fourth of us wanted to nurture our existing friends. And what's really interesting is nobody thought that they had friends they needed to prune, which is a great thing. Okay, let's keep going. The next question, the prompt was you in the near future. What do you want to do more of in 2026? What would you like to do less of in 2026? And what one thing would you like to change or accomplish before the end of 2025? And here are some of the results from that group. What do you want to do more of in 2026? There was travel, walking, yoga. I'll move this out of the way a little bit. Personal projects, more time visiting family, travel. What else do we have? Let's keep going down here. International travel with their spouse, catch up with old friends, yoga, um, spend time with family and friends, road trips, drink less alcohol. That's actually on my list for next year as well. Okay, let's look at the next finding. What do you want to do less of in 2026? Less cleaning. I agree. Less work. Uh, Cleaning, hiring help for cleaning. That's actually a really good one. You know, what can we do to buy more free time so we can enjoy our life? And, you know, cleaning is relatively easy to find somebody to do a good job. Worrying less about money, doctor visits, yes, less social media, okay. Um, Less worrying about finances, less resistance to this natural flow of aging and retiring, yes. Learn to breathe better, better sleep routine, physical activity, Staying home too much, eating less carbs. Okay, let's keep going. What would you like to accomplish by the end of 2025? Plan some travel, solve a transition plan for Cobra. That's my situation as well. Get stronger, purchase a vacation home. Don't forget one of Azul's three rules, right? No matter how much you make, you got to spend less than what you make. Number two is one spouse, and number three is one house. So be careful with that vacation house. Spend time with family in Las Vegas, nail down their retirement plan so I can retire on Good Friday, April 3rd, 2026. I wish you well on that goal. Building on existing relationships. Retire in October. Wow, that's just a few weeks away. Very exciting. Okay, the next one. This I was really happy to see. And this is, how satisfied are you with your job? This is actually really high. And I think part of that is just as we get older, I think our jobs, we can focus more on the part of our jobs that we like. We're more established. But with young people, and there's a YouTuber that I follow by the name of Ali Abdal, and his viewers are younger and much less satisfied with their jobs. Relationships are pretty high. Health is the lowest ranked thing here, and it gets harder as we get older, doesn't it? And then savings, 4.2, that's really high. And five is very satisfied, and one would be not satisfied. Okay. Now that we have another prompt, let's stretch out the timeline a little. You in the near future. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you attempt to do over the next 1 to 3 years? Now, I encourage you to pause the video and actually answer this. Bring out a piece of paper or go in Google Doc and answer these questions yourself. But let's see how the group of 60 earlier today answered this. Okay, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Hike the Appalachian Trail. I love that. Reverse my type 2 diabetes. Yes. Live internationally 2 to 3 months a year. That's on my list as well. Ironically, I was able to do that during the pandemic. Become fluent in Italian. Learn new languages. Solo build a remote off-grid cabin. That sounds like a lot of work. Good luck. Travel to Alaska with an RV. That sounds wonderful. Build my strength to squat my body weight, deadlift 1.5 times body weight. Let me move my picture out of the way. Invest my money to get a good return, not worrying about losing money. Have a sound financial plan that lets you sleep at night. We're going to talk about how many of this group actually had a financial plan. You're going to be surprised. Okay, let's see. What do we have next? Okay, coming up next, we're going to do a prompt on our 80-year-old self and talk about retirement. But first, I have a favor to ask. My love language is testimonials. And if you'd be willing to go to this website here and give me a testimonial, I would appreciate it. So here's the website. You can type it in, or if you're watching this on your television or at home, you can scan this QR code, but the website is just lm.fm/Azul thanks. And I'd really appreciate it. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, this is the prompt for 80-year-old you. Let me move myself out of the way. Um, what does 80-year-old you want to encourage you to do that you're currently not planning on doing? So what does the 80-year-old version of yourself want to encourage you to do that maybe you're not planning on doing? And let me tell you where this prompt came from. This prompt, and I'll go over the next two in a minute, but about every 12 or 18 months, I find it really useful to write a letter to myself. And I really try to think about, this is 80-year-old Azul talking to 60-year-old Azul. And what does 80-year-old Azul want 60-year-old Azul to do? And candidly, it was 80-year-old Azul, and it sounds weird, but I have a separate name for 80-year-old Azul. I call 80-year-old Azul Solomon because Solomon was the wisest man in the Bible. So I call 80-year-old Azul Solomon. I got that from another YouTuber named Alex Hormozy. But Solomon writes a letter to Azul once a year, once every 18 months. And it was Solomon that helped me actually pull the trigger and retire. So enormously valuable exercise for me. Okay, with that as a backdrop, the second question is, what's one thing you could do in the next 100 days to make the 80-year-old version of yourself prouder of you? The last question is, what's one thing you could do in 2026 to make 80-year-old Azul prouder and happier? So we have the next 100 days, and then we have, which as I record, there's almost exactly 100 days left in 2025. So that's the questions. Pause the video, think about that, but let's see how our group answered it. Okay, more time with what does 80-year-old you want to say to current you and encourage current you to do? Exercise more, stay present, stay active, get rid of crap, physical, mental, spatial, social. What does he want? You should have retired sooner. That is a regret that I'm hoping that's why I launched my channel to help as many people as possible avoid that regret. Exercise consistently, make a good story, full and loving, make a good story of your life, exercise and daily stretching. So this theme of taking care of the vehicle that we get to live our life in, until we're 80, till we're 85, until we pass. Yes, 80-year-old you wants to take really good care of that vehicle, because the bum knee that we have when we're 80 is probably due to something we did before we were 80. So take care of those knees. Okay, spend more time with people and don't sweat the small things. Live and eat healthier, foster growth in your marriage. I love that. It's okay to spend money. You don't go from saver to spender. It's okay. Don't live in fear. Yes, it is okay to spend money. And it's going to take time for us to learn to do that. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now let's talk about my favorite topic, retirement. And this is why I started my YouTube channel. This is probably why most of you watch my channel. So thank you for watching. Let's do that. Let's talk about retirement. Let's see. The question I had is, what word describes how you feel about retirement? And this is what's called a word map. And the bigger the word is on screen, the more people that said this. So I asked people, what one word describes how you feel about retirement? Excited, in freedom, relief, satisfied. I'm calling out all the positive ones. Release, relaxed, happy, possibilities. Those are all the positive emotions. But going into retirement is this new world for most of us, right? It's like when we left home for the first time. I remember when my oldest daughter left home when she was 18 years old, and everything she owned in the world was packed in two big suitcases, and she was heading off to college for the first time, and it was this exciting new world, but she was also leaving the cocoon. And I was, her and I were the last two people in our house as we were taking her to the airport. We went with her as we were going to the airport. But I remember her watching her walk through the door, and she would never walk through that door as the same person again. She was starting a new adventure, but it's also scary. And I've talked to her. She says it's okay that I share this. She cried, and I cried watching her cry. And it's the same thing for us. We're excited about retirement, but it's also something new for us, and it can be scary. But unless we're planning on working until the day we die, we have to walk through that door sometime. So why not do that sooner rather than later? Okay. The next question is, what is the main thing keeping you from retiring? I'm going to move my cursor over here since nobody said lack of purpose or fear of boredom. I'm glad nobody said that. But financial concerns, yes. None of what I share in my channel, none of what I share in any of my videos, none of what I'm sharing in this video is financial advice. but the financial side of things is very real. We need to know that we have enough money. Health insurance, unfortunately, here in the United States is an issue. People love their career. I'm glad to see that that's a big one. That's good that we love our career, but it can also be a trap, so we have to be careful. Okay. This one here surprised me. Do you have a written financial or retirement plan? Two-thirds of people said yes, a third of people said no. The average for the United States is only one-third of people have a financial plan or a retirement plan. So, viewers of my channel, congratulations, you're doing really, really well. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's move me over here now. This was another prompt, thinking about retirement. And one of the things I have found helpful is when you're retired, you get to design your perfect day and your perfect week. So give some thought to how you want that to look. So the prompt here is, and pause the video and think about this. Design your ideal day. Design your ideal week. And then ask yourself this question: what have you always wanted to learn or to try? Experiences, skills, adventures, because in retirement, we have the time, we have the flexibility to choose how we spend our time. Not just the 20 or 30 hours a week when we're not at work, but there's 168 hours in a week. And once we retire, once we pull the trigger, we get to decide how we're going to use all of that time. Okay, let's keep going. See what the next question is here. We're wrapping up. So if time permitted, returning to the 100-day idea, we didn't have time, and I don't think we have time to do it here, but I want you to pause it. There's 5 questions here that what's a good goal you'd like to accomplish this year? How much does that goal reflect your desires versus somebody else? What's the main obstacle to accomplishing that goal in the next 100 days, in the next 60 days, in the next 30 days, however many days are left as you're watching this? And here's a question: could you invest a little bit of money to buy yourself more time and to make your life easier? And what would that increase the likelihood of achieving your goal? Many of us could buy back, if we wanted, about 10 hours a week of our time. That's a lot. And for many of us, as we're building up our net worth, we have the money to do that. So think about, is it worth having somebody clean your house, having somebody um, um, do your lawn care, having somebody maybe do your grocery shopping. Candidly, I subscribe to one of these services at one of the big retailers, and I order my groceries online, and I go and I put them in the trunk of my car, and off I go. That saves me at least an hour a week. So, what are those things that could save you time and give you time to accomplish the things that are important? Okay, what's a reminder? Here's an important question. What's a reminder you'd like to text yourself in the next 4 weeks? I'm sorry, 4 weeks from now, to keep yourself focused on your goal. Okay, now we're going to go through. We've got some closing questions here. What was the best part of today's session? This was really for me. I'll just go through it. Collaboration and gathering of those with similar interests and liking for Azul. Thank you. We are a tribe. Thank you for being part of that tribe. I feel that connection to all of you as well. Let's keep going here. What's one thing I should improve for next time? I had some technology issues, so I know that. Should I do another session like this for your end? And the vast majority of people said yes. So look for that. If you'd like to join the next session and join it live, be sure to sign up for my newsletter. You can find a link in this video's description, or just go to azulwells.com and you can sign up for my newsletter, and that's where I'll invite people to do the next session live. Okay, and remember, my love language is testimonials. If you'd be willing to leave me a quick testimonial, I would appreciate it. And finally, here's the testimonial site. If you want to scan the QR code, please, 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 if my channel's been helpful, leave me a testimonial. Let's see. I think that is it. And with that, thank you for joining in. It was fun to share this with you. If you're watching this again after having joined live, thank you for joining me live. Sorry for the technology issues. And again, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please do so. azulwells.com. Thanks for watching this video. Oh, I guess I should say. If you enjoyed this video, one of the main themes, the big reason I started the channel is to get people to think about retiring before 65. So if you enjoyed this session, you'll enjoy this video. Why waiting to 65 to retire might be a big mistake. Or this video up here, 8 things to stop doing in your 50s and 60s in order to enjoy your time until you get to retire. Thanks for watching this video. Bye-bye.